This is the Anker SOLIX F3800 Plus portable power station, and just looking at it sitting here on the floor, I can't help but be a little impressed. It's big, solid, and looks like a piece of gear you'd want around when things go sideways. My first impression? This thing means business. With its upright, nearly rectangular shape, matte black casing, and big sturdy handles front and back, it's clearly built for people who are serious about backup power or want something they can rely on in a crunch. I had my doubts at first. I figured, like most big battery stations, it's either going to be a pain to move or not as powerful as a regular generator, or too technical for me to mess with when the lights actually go out. But after spending some real time with it, actually using it during an outage at my place and testing it around the house, I've changed my tune pretty quick. There's definitely a learning curve, but it's not as intimidating as I expected, even if you're new to this kind of thing. Let's talk about the key features, because that's what helped me decide to try it in the first place. The headline stat for me is the capacity, 3,840 watt-hours. Watt-hours are basically how much energy the power station can store. Think of it like a gas tank for electricity. And this one's giant. It means you can run important stuff, fridge, lights, router, or even heavier things, long enough to get through a typical blackout. The output is also a big deal. It can push out 6,000 watts continuously, which is way more than your average portable power station. I could run most essentials in my house and not worry about tripping the thing. What's really interesting, from my experience, is the dual voltage support. I kept running into this issue with my last power stations. I couldn't power my dryer or my well pump because they needed 240 volts, not just the usual 120 volts that most outlets use. The Anker SOLIX F3800 Plus is the first one I've tested that lets me run both 120 volt and 240 volts appliances straight out of a single unit. I always thought you needed two big batteries and a fancy cable setup for 240 volts. So having it baked right in is honestly a relief. The port selection is spot on. On the front, I see 6 normal AC outlets, what most of us use for lamps, computers, chargers. There are 3 USB-C ports, 2 older USB-A ports, and a car-type DC port if you have gadgets that run on those. There's also an L1430 outlet right on the side, which, if you're not familiar, is a standard plug for hooking a power station like this directly to your home transfer switch or to heavy appliances in the garage. I appreciate not having to go buy adapters or cables, since what I needed is built in. It's also got what Anker calls RV and EV readiness, which is great if you do road trips. You can just plug your RV in directly or even top up your electric vehicle a bit, though I will say it won't fully replace a car charger if you're doing long distances. Still, I like the flexibility. What surprised me was how simple the app is. Usually, I ignore apps for devices like this, too fiddly, too many menus. But the Anker app connects over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth and just lets me see everything at a glance. Battery state, how much power is coming in, what's being drawn, and I could even tweak some settings, like when to switch over to battery if I'm using it for backup. Even if you never open the app, everything you need is on the main screen. And crucially, you can control it right there in your house without being connected to the internet. So if your Wi-Fi drops along with the lights, you're not left in the dark. Setting it up was maybe the most intimidating part, but only because of its size. This thing is heavy, about 146 pounds, so rolling it into place on its wheels, which are thankfully sturdy, and one set locks so it doesn't roll away, took a bit of muscle. But once you have it where you want it, all the controls and outlets are up top, labeled clearly, no guesswork needed. The upright style takes up less floor space than I expected, which is nice when you're working in a packed garage or utility room. I'm one of those people who likes to avoid gas generators if I can. They're loud, need fuel, and can be a pain to maintain. This power station handles solar and generator inputs. During the day, I tested out the 400-watt solar panel that comes in the kit. Setting it in my backyard was easy. Honestly, just plug in the cables and aim the panels at the sun. I hit peak input on a bright afternoon, and I really liked that it charged quicker than I thought for a battery this size. Anker says you can connect a bunch of panels for up to 3,200 watts solar input, which means in real emergencies, you could keep the battery full just with the sun if you have enough panels. There's also a port for expanding the batteries by stacking on extra units. At first, I figured that's just something for tech nerds, but actually, it's pretty simple. If you start running low on power and have a big outage, you just grab one of the expansion batteries, hook it up to the port on the side, and your whole tank gets a lot larger. I did not need the expansion battery in my basic home testing, but I can see how if you lived out where power went out for days or needed something for a cabin, that would give real peace of mind. As someone who's not an electrician, I wanted to see how well it would handle a real transfer switch setup. What you'd use if you plan to run appliances straight from the house wiring instead of plugging things in one by one. Once I turned off the main breaker and switched to my backup input, the F3800 Plus took over and powered the panel enough to run my fridge, some lights, my Wi-Fi, and even my well pump at the same time. You can hear the well pump click on and off as the water is used, but the voltage never dropped and everything kept running smoothly. From my experience, that's what backup power is supposed to do. No drama, no fiddling in the dark. I had to test the limits, so I tried turning on my dryer at the same time. That's a huge load. Pushed the station into overload, which is what it should do for safety. The nice thing is, it handled a short surge above its rating for a few seconds before shutting off, and once I reset it, everything was fine. That's a good sign for reliability, especially for real-life loads where something kicks on or off suddenly. Two things to consider. There's the weight, like I mentioned, which makes it a little tough to maneuver if you need to move it upstairs or load it in a car by yourself. I found the handle design clever. The extendable handle makes rolling it pretty simple over flat floors, but lifting it is a two-person job. The other is the price, which isn't cheap. You're paying for real power and serious battery tech, but if you're looking at this as backup for a family home or a long-term off-grid solution, I honestly think it's a fair investment. In my opinion, it's perfect for people who want real backup power at home without gasoline or noise, or want a robust solution for an RV or cabin. If you're someone who wants to rely on solar to stay powered, or need to run 240 volts appliances, I'd recommend this for you, especially since you don't have to worry about complicated cabling or buying double units just to get the voltage you need. The app is user-friendly, and once you set it up, day-to-day use feels almost automatic. In conclusion, the Anker SOLIX F3800 Plus portable power station has totally changed how I think about home backup power. It's reliable, surprisingly simple to use, and doesn't require much tinkering once it's in place. The power capacity is enough for just about any daily emergency, and the ability to expand is reassuring. Whether you just want peace of mind for blackouts, want to take clean energy with you on the road, or need solid power for bigger appliances, this unit covers almost every base. I will post full information about the Anker SOLIX F3800 Plus portable power station in the comments section. See you in the following videos.